Yeah, see, that's the problem. It's that I'm just going to continue having panic attacks and meltdowns over this situation.
But if you're having a panic attack, you can come with us in the ambulance, and we'll be more than happy to take you in.
You want to take me to the hospital? I don't have the money for the hospital. You're here because you're who they sent.
Right.
Well, when you called 911, they
I didn't call 911. I called the non-emergency line.
Okay, well, they interpreted you to be having a medical emergency. That's why the ambulance is here.
Mm-hmm.
And I realize that your panic attacks are a real thing. I get that.
It's what they're over. That's the whole point in showing you that, is that there's a real issue that needs to be taken care of.
Sure.
Taking me to the hospital is not going to take care of that issue.
Sure, and I don't dispute that. I'm just telling you what is within our power to do. We can do one of two things. We can take you to the hospital, or we can call the police officer back over here and we can go our separate ways. Because, I mean, to my eyes right now, talking to you, I mean, you're talking, you're breathing. It doesn't look like you're having a medical emergency that we can treat. You know what I mean? Why don't we get the deputy back over here and see if he's got any ideas for you? What do you think?
Should we send him back?
I'm an at-risk adult. No matter who I call, I get blown over. I get ignored. I can't just keep doing this.
Well, Sean, like I said, the only thing I can do is maybe we can try to get you some help for your panic attacks at the ER, but
the ER doesn't help with it. My panic attacks are over. It's a situational issue, and that's the thing about talking to my therapist, and that's the problem with it being the time that it is in the morning. That's the problem with me being stranded here in this parking lot.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, we're more than happy to help if there's a medical problem, but if there's nothing we can treat, then we can't do a whole lot for you.
And that was the whole point in me not understanding why they wanted to send you. But if you're the ones that show up, you're the ones that I'll try to explain it to. Whoever shows up, I'll try to explain it to. Until I am blue in the face, I will speak out about what's been going on. Something needs to be done. I shouldn't be stranded in Hood River, Oregon. I mean,
Is there a place you were headed to?
No, I'm fleeing abuse. Over Natalie Bollinger getting shot in the head, I'm still dealing with that abuse. And that stuff started before she was ever shot in the head. Now there's a lot more people who are dead, like Tiber Hatay is dead. Demetria Shankling is dead. Elijah McClain is dead. They're all dead. Anna Hunke is dead. There's a lot of dead people. Stephen McMillion's dead. Christine Buhita's dead. Rihanna Ingersoll is dead. That's a lot of dead people.
Sounds like what you need is a good counselor to talk to.
Holy shit, I have a counselor. A counselor isn't going to stop the abuse. A counselor isn't going to do anything about the things that the police did in Dual County or Boulder County, Colorado. They're not going to do anything about the things that were done to try to frame me for a crime I didn't commit. And when it failed, they committed a lot more crimes to prevent me from turning them in. I've done everything I can to save the evidence. People keep telling me, oh, well, you need to move. So then I move, and they tell me that they can't do anything when I move because I'm in the wrong jurisdiction. So then, like, when I'm in the jurisdiction that these things happen in, and I'm trying to turn it into police, and they won't do anything about it, like, I'm overwhelmed at that point.
We're clear.
Okay.
Okay, so go take it from here.
All right. Well, Sean, if there's no medical need, then there isn't much we can do for you, bud. So
the deputies back here, they're going to talk to you for a little bit, okay? Hopefully you can make some headway there.
All
If
right.
we can help you more, I apologize.
All right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
You got it. Hey, Sean, how you doing, man?
I'm still breathing.
What's that?
I'm still breathing.
That's good. That's a good deal. The medic said that you wanted to talk to us about some kind of a crime that happened to you.
A lot of crimes that happened to me.
Okay.
And
What is it that we can do for you?
the problem is that I'm here because I'm fleeing abuse. I got a bunch of evidence in the back. It all should have been to the FBI years ago.
Okay.
People are actually dead. You have access to the internet right now because I'd rather you look it up and still be able to record it myself so that it is verified that I am trying to tell someone.
I don't have access to the internet right now, no.
There's a lot of people who are dead. I've been trying to turn in the situations that happened that resulted in their deaths.
Where'd that happen, bud?
Most of it in Colorado and some of it in Nebraska and some of it in Virginia.
Okay. Have you contacted those authorities there?
I have.
What'd they say?
They took part in threatening, harassing, and
What's that?
assaulting me. They took part in threatening, harassing, and assaulting me.
Oh.
And when I tried to turn them in, they pressed false charges against me. And they keep on having to drop the charges because they're bogus.
Okay. Well, what I suggest, if you have some something you want to talk to, I would contact the maybe the media out there, you know, and see if,
That's why I see. Here's the thing. I'm afraid that you might start acting differently if you're not being recorded live.
I'm
I
recording
say
right here,
that.
man. I got my camera running
I
too.
know, but I also know how impossible it is to get those body cameras because multiple occasions officers have committed crimes, falsely reported, had me arrested on crimes that were not committed, and then after a year they were allowed to destroy their body camera evidence and prevent me from being able to turn them in. I know all the tricks that they use to
Okay.
prevent that.
Well, I'm not going to do anything to you, man. So unless you want to report a crime that happened in Oregon to you, then I would just suggest getting a hold of the media folks in the places that you were talking about earlier, okay?
That's the thing, sir, is that I'm going to continue to have panic attacks and meltdowns over this, and you're going to continue to get calls, and I don't want that to happen. That's the state that I am in. I cannot take care of my. I've been saying this for 6 years.
Have you talked to anybody locally, like Center for Living or anything?
Everybody says the Center for Living. Yes, I did,
And
and
what'd they say?
they blew me off.
Okay.
They said I'm supposed to schedule an appointment, and I made an appointment to get there, but the problem is I didn't have any idea where the place was, and I wandered around with my phone telling me it was screwing up on me and redirecting me repeatedly, and I got overwhelmed, and I wasn't able to make it there, and they said they would reschedule. They haven't rescheduled, and the problem is that their conduct was not appropriate when I went to them about that. They said that they can't do anything about it.
Okay.
I'm going to mandated reporters about the abuse, and all the places that I'm supposed to go to mandated reporters about it, none of these mandated reporters are doing anything. That's why I'm here.
Okay.
The evidence that I have shows that I took this to mandated reporters. It shows that I took it to law enforcement. It shows that I tried to go to law enforcement before any of these people were killed.
Okay. I can't speak to any of that because I'm not from those states, man. I can tell you that if you want to talk to somebody from Center for Living, I can tell you how to get there. And if you want, tomorrow morning I can have day shift, have somebody from Center for Living meet you out here.
They were going to do that day before yesterday, and it didn't happen. And that was
I can
'cause
make
the
sure
day
that
before I
happens.
tried to.
I can make sure that happens tomorrow. You want me to do that? You want me to schedule somebody to come out here and talk to you?
I already talked to them about this situation.
Okay.
I do want them to come out and talk to me, but I need them to do more listening than talking. That's the problem with all of this. All right, I tried to show this stuff in Colorado, and imagine how frustrating it is for me, especially given the fact that even in the jurisdictions these things happened in, this is what the police were telling me.
Okay.
I mean, the threats and harassment are nationwide.
Well, nobody's threatening to harass you out here, ma'am.
You know what? Telling me that something is not happening right at this very moment, I want you to look at what I'm living in. I want you to look at this. This is what I have been forced into.
How can I help you?
You can try to get an advocate and get a hold of the FBI and tell them they need to look at this. I mean, I'd like to have more than one functional electronic device. I can try to hook this up to my tablet, and I can show you on the YouTube on that. I mean, it's not just on YouTube. It's not just on Facebook. I get harassed in real life, and I'm tired of it.
Who's harassing you out here?
Well, for starters, the cops.
Okay.
But I having them tell people that I'm schizophrenic and that I was doing drugs in my car with some guy who I had just met. that's very scary for me. And it put me in an unsafe situation. And it made it so that I was almost assaulted in friggin' McDonald's over something that should not have happened. I should not be here in Hood River.
Where do you want to be?
I want to be somewhere safe.
I'll tell you what I can do for you is I can create a call for service for guys to come down at daytime and from somebody from Center for Living to talk to you about whatever your needs are. That's what we'll start with, okay?
We've already done that a few times.
Do you want me to do that or no?
Yeah, we'll do the same thing that hasn't worked.
Oh, well, it's up to you, man. That's what I can offer you right now.
You know what? If I deny it this one time, then people will pretend that I'm denying all help. I absolutely am not going to say no to that.
Okay.
They're going to tell me the same things that they told me last time. It's not their job. They can't do nothing. They do that everywhere I go. I can't take care of myself. My finances are screwed. I am literally disabled. I am an at-risk adult. I can't take care of myself.
Okay. I will have someone from day shift come down and bring a Center for Living representative with them, okay? And you can tell them all those things. Tell them you are an at-risk adult. Tell them you are having trouble taking care of yourself. Tell them all those things. Okay?
I did already, but I'll do it again.
Okay, man. I'm gonna close the door for you, okay?
Sure.
Do you want it open or closed?
Close it.
Okay.
I tried to show the EMTs. Sergeant Rivera is supposed to make sure that the situation with the body cameras, that they look at them and find out what's going on. At least they didn't try pulling that ignorant fucking, you're not thinking about hurting yourself or anyone else, are you? Well, actually, I'm not going to tell you what I think about every time that I hear that one of my loved ones was threatened. Unlike these jackasses, I'm a reasonable human being. Unlike Joseph Michael Lopez, I would have given up my life for Natalie Bollinger. I can't find my fucking lighter. You know, you think this is absurd that I keep calling them from elsewhere, but I can't turn the men in their own county to themselves, can I? No, I can't. You know, by the time I was assaulted by Scott DaCosta, I'd been trying for years to get the cops to do their job in that state. I've been trying for years to get Nebraska State Patrol to do their jobs. It's not my fault that there's no funding left for these people to actually do their jobs. I think it sucks that instead of actually having the money to actually investigate these crimes, They'd rather just go find a homeless person to peg for it. And you know what? I could, if it wasn't for cops actually doing their jobs at least half-assed, yeah, I'd be sitting in prison for a crime that I did not commit. But I've already sat in prison for several crimes that I didn't commit since then, didn't I? The things that I told you that these officers were telling me about jurisdiction. You've gotten to hear in multiple jurisdictions already. This is how my predators get away with it, by doing it in multiple jurisdictions and by creating a safety risk in multiple jurisdictions. Ted Bollinger, Alicia Bollinger, Maddie Boa, Danica Garner. None of these people have to come here for me to be victimized. I tell them I can't take care of myself. I tell them that I've been denied my rights repeatedly. I tell them that I have evidence of people who should not be dead but are. Yes, there is actual evidence on my YouTube channel of people being murdered. The man who admitted to that situation is Jay Hawk, or Jason Hawk. And he's Leah Plunkett's ex. He's been missing for months. I've been trying to locate him or get a hold of him. He talks about Leatha and her drug trade and her ripping people off and her abusing his son. He also talks about how he'd kill her in that video. Obviously, she's still alive. Obviously, he didn't kill her. But yeah, I did record that. I did post it up. My phone is almost dead. I'm down to 5% battery. So I'm trying to fish out an external battery to record on, or to plug in. I don't think that these people quite understand how serious a situation that they're going to have to deal with very shortly here. I don't think that they're quite understanding the desperate things that I am willing to do in order to save lives and prevent more people from being killed by these protocols, by these methods. Dual County Sheriff Scott DaCosta, he is basically, well, he basically runs Chapel, Nebraska. All the people that I needed to turn him into, they're all in Dual County. All the people that I tried to turn into Scott DaCosta that needed to be turned in, all of them were in Dual County. All of them had committed crimes in Dual County, including Chris Kurth and Sandy Fromm. When she intentionally and knowingly and willingly approached Tim and asked Tim to kill me, that was in Dual County. Christopher Kurth, since the Dual County Sheriff's Department would not do anything about him. Wouldn't even document that I'd spoken to them about the abuse from him or the threats against my life or my family's life. Clint Snell, well, that's Leslie Snell's brother-in-law. He's recorded on my YouTube channel as well. They can't do nothing, they can't do nothing, they can't do nothing. Motherfucker, you best take a look. What these guys aren't understanding is how severe my meltdowns can get and how much property damage I can do when it comes to saving a human life. Now, I tell them about the human trafficking. They don't want to fucking listen. I tell them that it's happening here in Oregon. They don't want to listen. They keep telling me they can't do anything about these things that have happened elsewhere. Well, the things that are happening here are happening because of what happened elsewhere. The fact that I am here to begin with is because of things that happened elsewhere. I gotta tell you, if you put the Holy Grail in front of me, and you told me I had to choose between the Holy Grail and a human life, I'd choose the human life. I would crush the Grail in front of you to save a human life. If you gave me a brick of gold and said, you got a choice, you can have this brick of gold, or we're gonna kill somebody at random. You get to have a choice here. We're going to kill somebody at random, but here's a brick of gold. If you accept it, we won't, or we will. Sorry, I'm completely flustered, and as you can tell, my words don't come out right when I'm fucking completely flustered. The point I'm trying to make is that things are more important than people to most of you. To me, people are more important. It doesn't matter what chunk of property it is. I mean, I've lost evidence because I was busy and in the process of protecting children, in some of these cases from their own parents. People have taken advantage of my desperate situation. They've taken advantage of my kindness, my generosity. They've taken advantage of my honesty. And they've taken advantage of the fact that, yes, I do care about their kids more than I care about my own life. When I admitted to threatening Ted Bollinger's life, that was after Natalie was already killed. That was after multiple situations where Natalie Bollinger, her family, in specific, her ex-stepmother, Danica Garner, and her ex-stepmother, Rochelle Shelley Campbell, and in specific, Bobby Forrest, and in specific, Samantha Daniels. These are all people that, well, they can verify the stories about Ted Bollinger, and they are on my YouTube channel. A lot of those people that you guys talk about, and you talk about it like it's a conspiracy theory, it's not a conspiracy. The evidence is on my YouTube channel. There ain't no conspiracy. It's done proven. It's on YouTube. It's all evidence, and it proves I've been telling the truth. It also proves that I've been screaming for help. It also proves that the only part that any of these web sleuth groups give a shit about is the parts where I'm literally screaming for help. Now they're going to have them people from the Center for Living, that's that housing place, what's it. They can't think of nothing but for me to talk to that place who says they can't do nothing. They just want me to sign everything over and do all their paperwork and not caring about the position that it's putting me in. I am a Nebraska resident. It says Nebraska on my ID. My car has Nebraska plates. I am Nebraskan. The abuse in Dual County needs to be curbed. It needs to be redirected, and those who took part in this, and that actually does include a lot of people in Chapel, Nebraska, whose names I don't know. But you know what? It won't take much looking through these people's Facebooks to find out who the fuck they are. And you can get the evidence of that that is required in those situations based on the crimes that these people committed against me. Everyone in Nebraska is a mandated reporter. The fact is, Scott the Cop and his goons can try to press immoral or illegal charges against me from anywhere that they happen to be, and, well, cops nationwide, there's only, what, 3 states in the Union that don't have extradition laws? So he can reach out and abuse his power anywhere that I happen to be. Now, the even worse part is, for me, when I'm being abused, being told that I have to go to Meg. There's a lot of stuff that I told her, and her advice is not what I wanted to hear. When I told Meg about that gun, I was like, what am I supposed to do? I'm trying to turn this situation in. The guy who's fucking around with the goddamn gun, he's fucking friends with the sheriff, and he keeps trying to claim that he's gonna say that I was fucking around with the gun in a way I wasn't supposed to, or some shit like that, and saying that I'm not allowed to touch firearms. No, I'm certainly allowed to touch firearms. I'm not allowed to fucking own them, I guess. And I don't even know if that's fucking true. See, that's the thing, is they keep charging me with bogus bullshit and then dropping the fucking charges. The fact that my predators have guns is a very scary thing for me. I don't mind fixing your gun so that you can go out shooting with your son, or so you can go out and do your hunting thing. But Jesus fuck, to take advantage of a disabled person and fucking try to blackmail them for trying to do you a fucking favor. That's Jesus, holy hell. And yeah, I made sure I recorded the conversation when I called Meg to tell her about it. Like, her reaction was not what I needed. It's not okay. Now, I had to buy all that stuff with my fucking credit card, and I made sure that I did it that way. That way, when any situation might happen to happen, I could fucking turn his ass in. There's a fucking paper trail of some sort. I made sure that I saved all the receipts every time that he wanted to fucking tell me that I ordered the wrong part and I gotta get this and I gotta get that. Fine, I'll save the fucking receipts. Not for him, though. Now, it's in a reasonably safe place right now. For how long, I don't know. But it's just little shit like that where, I'm just trying to make a fucking living. I'm trying to eke ahead where I don't have the money to take care of myself, let alone hire a lawyer. And if I get enough money to hire a lawyer, then they're going to take away my disability money because I made too much fucking cash. It's stupid. So literally, they make sure that I can't defend myself or hire a lawyer when they give me disability. That's the most insane stupidity ever. Like, okay, you're disabled, so now you are not allowed to have a lawyer. You have to take a public pretender who's not going to do shit. You're guilty just because you fucking exist, you fucking poor piece of shit. Don't be poor in America. You best not be fucking poor in America. Oh, you can't afford a lawyer? Good, that means we can do whatever the fuck we want to you. And it's not fucking okay. I try explaining that people are fucking dead, and it's like it goes in one ear and right out the other. People are fucking dead. It's not a joke. It's a very serious situation. People are dead. Well, that seems like something you need to talk to the police about. I fucking did. People say, oh, well, you need to turn it into the police there. I fucking did. You know, and I'm able to show people the evidence. It doesn't take them very long to fucking catch on. Something needs to be fucking done. Holy hell. Just some folks coming off the interstate, I suppose. I think my external battery, we'll see if it's working. I don't know if it is. Nope, my phone is gonna die. My external charger is completely dead. So maybe this one will work. Let me see. Is that working? It says it's at 84%. I don't know if it's completely plugged in though, so it might die at any point in time. I guess when I started this video, I was talking to the EMTs still, and then the sheriff guy come up and talked to me. This is not okay. You know, everywhere that I went, I tried to show what was going on. I was trying to show what Waylon Lolotai did. I didn't even know Waylon Lolotai's name because they wouldn't let me have it. I tried to get their body cameras and was denied. I was sent to repeatedly the wrong places. Just like you get to go through and you can follow from 2018 all the way to present how hard I've tried to turn in Scott DaCosta and all of the crimes that he has committed and all of the other jurisdictions that he had sent me to and lied to in order to cover up his crimes. He sent me to Garden County when I was trying to turn in Robert Warnick and Scott DaCosta and Leslie Snell, who worked for Scott DaCosta. Robert Franklin Warnick is a registered sex offender, charged with felony sexual assault against a child. So, yeah, the fact that he's friends with Leslie Snell, lives right across the fucking street from her. She works for Scott DaCosta, and here I am trying to turn them in because literally the sheriff's department has ignored all of the crimes committed against me by Robert Franklin Warnick since he first started stalking me and threatening to kill me all the way back in 2019. The phone that he broke, it's got a lot of evidence in it that needs to be shown. It needs to be shown in the state of Colorado and the state of Nebraska. It also needs to be shown in the state of Virginia. Police officers need to be held accountable for their crimes. They cannot be allowed to abuse the system, to harm innocent people, and to take advantage of the most at-risk adults in America. If you know that a child, an elder, or a disabled person is being abused, or if a child, elder, or disabled person tells you about abuse that they are enduring, in most states you are mandated. You do have to turn it in. Because they told you about abuse, you have to turn it in. These guys want to ignore cause and effect. Why are these things happening? Kind of like when somebody's suicidal. The first question that they should ask is why. The second question they should ask is, what can I do to help? If the law makes it so that law enforcement can continually run people from one place to another, That's not okay. That prevents anyone from actually being able to establish roots and have a stable environment. And the less stable environment that they're in, the more desperate that they're going to be. Like I said from the start, the evidence is more important than my life is. The preservation of this evidence can be used to change laws. The same loopholes that my predators utilized to get away, to escape prosecution. Well, those same loopholes I've been using to protect myself from my predators. That's right, I've been using those loopholes to protect myself from the very same predators who are using those loopholes to try to harm me, to get away with harming me. It's a tough dance, but that's exactly what it is. It's fucking dancing. It's putting on a show. Nobody actually does anything. Everybody says they do something, but they want you to fill out the paperwork so they can get their funding. And then they can't do nothing. But you've already signed over your paperwork, so now you're an Oregon resident. And I need to just forget about what happened elsewhere. Meanwhile, if something else happens, well, I'm already afraid of going to the Hood River Police Department or Sheriff's Department because of things that they've said. Not being able to take care of myself is the most fucked up thing ever. And then the fact that it makes me so incredibly easy to victimize. The fact that I have to trust people that are untrustworthy inherently because of their addictions. But then, why am I trusting them? Because the cops didn't do their fucking jobs. The very departments that didn't do their jobs before Natalie died went out of their way to help my predators after Natalie died. How the fuck am I supposed to respect or believe in anything after that? No such thing as a fair fight. There's a lot of people that were in really stressful situations that were unable to help me because they're stressful situations. And of course, that's not what the cops wrote down, is it? Of course it isn't. Those officers in Colorado didn't try to investigate jack shit. Neither did the ones in Nebraska. It's not to their benefit to lock up my predators because that wouldn't fit their narrative of I'm crazy. You know the saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So when I'm trying to turn in Dual County Sheriff Scott DaCosta, and I'm being forced to go to Sheriff Scott DaCosta to try to turn in people like Robert Franklin Warnick, or Jared Hahn, or Cody Selhorst, what is Scott DaCosta going to do? Knowing that I'm trying to turn him in. He's going to help them to get away with it by whatever means necessary. See, between looking at evidence and judging on opinions, well, I already know what people's opinions are. I can smell them. You can take your opinion and shove it right back where it came from. Your backside. Right now, I am trying not to scream at the top of my lungs. Right now, I am So they told me that they're gonna send out the EMTs. So they sent out the EMTs, and the EMTs, all they wanted to do was take me to the hospital. Well, that's not what I fucking need. If I break my leg, fine, we'll go to the hospital. I don't know what the fuck the EMTs are gonna do. So then, instead of the EMTs, it's a cop who's at my window. Well, fine, I'll fucking answer your questions. What the hell? Here's my hands. No, there's nothing in them. There might be a booger or two on a finger, but, well, I got a big schnoz. You guys pretend like this is something that you can let go. No, you spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder because these fucking nut jobs haven't just threatened, harassed, and intimidated people over the internet. They've done so in real life. And I'm going to tell you something. I got to make sure I'm a bigger asshole than them, at least in words. And I'm not capable of that. Rebecca Grossnickel is. She's getting away with things that, oh my God, I went to jail and I also went to prison for things that either A, were never said, or B, never happened. Now, don't get me wrong, they wrote down a lot of stuff in there that was true. And thank goodness, a lot of that stuff that was true goes to show that my stories were true. All they did was, well, press false charges against me and also show that they do exist. See, William Barr pressing charges against me shows that William Barr exists. Therefore, he cannot be a figment of my imagination. So therefore, if he is not a figment of my imagination, and the fact that he mentions his relatives in chapel, well, how much information did he omit? A lot. A lot. I've got conversations with witnesses. They got to go somewhere, but you see how far I get when I'm trying to turn them in. It ain't any better anywhere else. When you're homeless, that's how the fuck it is. Yeah, if I have a fucking nightmare and I can't fucking sleep for 3 goddamn nights, I'm gonna call the fucking cops and tell them, hey, I'm having these nightmares over the shit that you didn't fucking do. How do you think Officer Jai Rogers would like it if I called him every single night when I have a fucking nightmare or can't sleep? And just kept on calling his phone over and 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 over, like people have done to me. I bet you he wouldn't fucking like it. See, that's the thing. Jamie Curtis called me 88 times in one day. She did all that within a few hours, and you all don't call her a fucking stalker for that shit. Meanwhile, she actually made that many. I only had that issue with one fucking phone. That was the phone that Natalie's sister Alicia gave me for my birthday in 2016. Now, if I sent you a message from another phone, pretty much fucking guaranteed that that nastiness is intentional. That's number one. Number two, well, it might not have been for you. I will admit that I have accidentally sent stuff to the wrong person. It happens. I'm not happy about it. I feel like shit when it happens. There's a lot of people that are dead over this. A lot. Look up the name Clearview Behavioral Health. Look up the name Waylon Lolatai. I'm not the only one who spoke up about these places. I'm just the first. These tactics were already known. Cops were already aware that these things were happening because they were utilizing those resources. Every time that they needed someone to be discredited, they sent them to a place like Fort Logan or Clearview. Something needs to be done to stop this. I don't sleep. Eventually, I have a fucking mental breakdown from not sleeping. And why can't I sleep? Because I can't see any of my loved ones. That's the thing that Natalie and Alicia and Maddie Boa didn't understand and didn't want to understand. That their lives cut me off from all of the positivity that I had in my life. Pretty words are not fucking positivity, so don't pull that bullshit on me. Being good to somebody in real life. That's what's important. I'm having problems breathing. My heart feels like someone's digging their fingers in. When I hurt my back and I could no longer take care of myself, that made it so that I was the easiest person in the world to victimize. I couldn't get away. I couldn't run after that. I couldn't physically defend myself. People are kind of fucking mean when you can't wipe their ass for them anymore.